I'm Falk, and welcome to the advanced lesson on opening and closing your hi-hats within your different drum beats. Now, this is definitely the most challenging as far as exercises I've provided. Like I said in the last videos, like in the beginning and the intermediate, these are just a few ideas to help you develop this concept. It can be applied anywhere and everywhere within all your drum beats and all your drum fills, all right? But use these to challenge yourselves, especially at the beginning when first learning this, and I'm sure you'll be able to come up with like thousands and more beats that are super cool that I would absolutely love to learn as well. So if you do come up with those and film a video yourself, please post them on the drumlessons.com Facebook wall, facebook.com/drumlessons.com, or in the drumlessons.com forums. We'd absolutely love to check it out. We love hearing and seeing what our students are playing, and I learned so much from you guys, so it'd be fantastic for me to check that out. Let's jump into these exercises though. You know the concept, we've talked about, when is the open and how long does the hi-hat stay open, and how that is notated by the O above the note. That means you open the hi-hat there and then you close it right on the plus sign. So the first exercise, we're actually adjusting the sticking a little bit as well. So on beat 3, our right hand comes down the snare drum, and then we hit the open hi-hat on the E of 3, okay, right with the bass drum, and then we have a rest, but the hi-hat closes on the and of 3, and then we have an open hi-hat and a bass drum note on the ah of 3, okay? And then we rest on beat 4 and have an open hi-hat and the bass drum on the and of 4, and then it closes on beat 1. So this is going to sound weird because we're playing 2 16th note open hi-hat strokes on the E of 3 and the and of 3, and then an 8th note open hi-hat stroke on the and of 4. So I don't want to try and confuse you guys or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to explain it before I went into it. Best way to learn it is to just start really, really slow and really focus on making sure the open notes are 16th notes when they're supposed to be, and 8th notes when they're supposed to be. And that's what's going to give this groove the feel that it was meant to have. All right, so let's jump into it at 70 beats per minute. I'm going to show you guys how it sounds. All right, so when I played that exercise, it was probably just like it was just like way too much. But for the purpose of demonstrating the concept and the exercise, I wanted to play it for you guys like that. But like I said in the past videos, it's not something that you'll use like that. You'll use it at the end of a phrase. So let me just show you what that sounds like. I keep saying you'll use it at the end of a 4 or 8 bar phrase, but I never actually show you guys that. So let me just quickly show you. I'm going to play 3 bars of just groove, and then I'm going to throw that in on the 4th bar. And let's do it at 120 beats per minute. All right, the next groove we're going to look at is kind of like a bio variation. You'll notice the kick drum is on the 1, the ah of 1, and then the and of 2, 3, the ah of 3, and then the and of 4. And the hi-hats are basically going 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. And they're opening on the and of each count, okay? 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. And then closing on the downbeat of each count. So the hi-hats are staying open for 2 16th notes. However, we're not actually hitting the hi-hat on the ah of each count. So you're not going to hear 2 open strokes play it on the hi-hat. You're going to hear it just open for an extended period of time. Let me just play the hi-hat part for you and show you guys what I mean. All right, once you learn that, what I'd recommend doing is forgetting about the snare part for now, because the snare part with all the ghosting written in, it's way more complex, way more advanced than it necessarily has to be. I just really wanted to share this groove with you guys. So if you want to simplify it when you're first learning it, you can just play the snare on the 2 and the 4. But before we do that, let's just add in the bass drum with the hi-hat, all right? All right, so the bass drum is on some of the notes that you play nothing with on the hi-hat. So for those of you that are still kind of struggling with the coordination where your right hand always wants to do what your right foot is doing, this groove maybe is one to actually help you with that, or it's maybe something you need to go back and learn the other open hi-hat grooves or some other coordination exercises before you move on to this groove. So I just don't want you to be discouraged if you can't get it right away. After that, let's just take it another small step and let's add the snare drum on beats 2 and 4. Forget about the other ghost notes for now. All right, and the final step, the most challenging, at least for me it was, is adding in all the ghost notes. But I'll show you guys how that sounds. And let's play this into click at 70 beats per minute. So the final groove we're going to work on is basically just a 16th note roll on the snare drum, adding in these quick little hi-hat chirps or hi-hat barks, whatever you want to call them. We're adding one in on the A of 1, the and of 2, and the E of 3. Okay, so you're kind of getting all the different variations other than right on the downbeat. And this one, again, will sound best played in context at the end of a phrase or something like that. Especially if the band is playing the shots with you. This one will sound like very, very, very good, and it'll be very fun to play. Let me play it for you guys at 70 beats per minute. And again, I want to show you guys that in context. So I'm going to play 3 bars of time, just a snare roll, shots on 2 and 4, and then I'm going to throw that in on the 4th bar. And you guys will see how it sounds within context, how you'll actually want to play it musically. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that lesson on opening and closing the hi-hat within some advanced drum grooves. Now, these are just exercises. They're kind of my ideas that I developed. You don't necessarily have to use these all the time within your opening and closing hi-hat drum grooves. Definitely come up with your own. Use these to inspire you to create some more of your own. That's the point of these lessons. And please share those concepts, share those ideas with me. I'd absolutely love to hear from you. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.